Give us a little bit of background about who Jonathan Liebert.
But I'm the CEO, as you already mentioned, as the BBB of Southern Colorado. So I've been in that role as the CEO for about 7 years now.
Wow.
I'm also the CEO and co-founder of another organization called the National Institute for Social Impact, which focuses on mission-driven businesses that have a higher purpose, and I know we'll talk about that as well.
Indeed.
And then I'm also fortunate enough to be an adjunct professor at UCCS, so I get to teach college students about business, but then specifically, this is new news as well. The UCCS finally created you can get a minor in social impact strategies now.
Oh, really?
So
didn't you start that at Pikes Peak State College?
So Pikes Peak State had a class. I actually teach it over at UCCS, and just a couple weeks ago they said, you know what, we see the interest, we see the direction this is going in, we're going to create a minor. If that becomes more successful, then hopefully we'll turn into...
Did you elaborate?
Well, I can elaborate. And interestingly enough, today the BBB risk report just came out at the national level. And sadly enough, we're seeing just a huge increase in scams. Oh. And you know, when you look at what happened with the pandemic and you think about what goes on with scammers and what they do, fear and uncertainty are the two things that's the recipe for what scammers use, and that's kind of what we had for the last couple of years, right? Fear and uncertainty.
Absolutely.
And so that just bred a whole new breed of scammers. And so the dollar amounts are going up, the number of scams are going up, consumers have to be more careful than ever. And you know, you've also got to understand that businesses they're trying, in some cases they're trying to do the best they can. They might not have the workforce, they might not have the supplies, and so people are a little bit grumpy as well. So, you know, some of that might be temporary, but some of it could be people absolutely just out there to get you, take your money and scam you. So we all have to be vigilant, be aware of that, and got to make sure that we're finding trustworthy businesses that are going to do a good job.
Absolutely. So I recently met with Carla Wink over at the BBB, and she introduced me to a gal on your team who's actually focused on that. She does a deep dive all through all different areas. I'll let you shed more light on that.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it is important to know that consumers are aware that from a BBB perspective, in every single office usually there's one or even more individuals that investigate these issues that are going on with companies. So most people kind of know that, you know, if there's an issue, you can leave a complaint, you can leave, you know, a 5-star or 1-star, you know, review, etc. But when we get calls about individuals or businesses doing some, you know, unnecessary things, some shady things, or what we call a pattern of complaint, meaning that we get the same complaint over and over again from different people, that's when we begin to investigate these claims and really kind of make sure that we're doing the best we can to kind of put some pieces together. And we might partner with local law enforcement. We might partner with the Secretary of State. So we work with a lot of different folks to make sure that we're keeping consumers safe. And a lot of times, different government agencies will tell consumers that BBB is usually the first line of defense on these things. And we just launched a brand new website called BBB Scam Tracker. And that is crowdsourcing data. So whenever you see anybody on Facebook that asks the question, well, two things. You know, is this a scam? If you're asking the question, I hate to break it to you, but it's a scam. So that's kind of the rule of one. If you're asking, it probably is, right? Don't click the links either.
Yeah.
But then number two, if somebody's online saying, you know, is this a scam? What can you tell me about it? That's when you need to tell them, go to bbb.org/scam tracker. You can put information in there, you can ask more questions, you can let other consumers in your area know that here's a scam, here's the phone number, here's the link, here's the person that called me. Put that information in that database. That's so important right now because, like I said, scams are going up, and it's a problem.